to Long Bangers Friday preview show in association with Leith Spirits. I'm Matty.
Hello, I'm Colin.
And I'm John.
How are you both doing?
I'm all right.
I'm all right.
Just been enjoying listening to your Uber Eats
My
saga.
big old rant. My big old rant about fucking Uber Eats. I'm not going to go into it again because it's boring for everybody. But aye,
if anybody had joined us live on YouTube, then they would have seen it. But if they weren't on early enough, then they weren't on early enough.
You missed it. It's gone for good. Right, Derby, big Derby as well. Feels like this is an especially important one given the run of form that we are on. How are you feeling about it?
I'm actually not too bad, Matthew, about it. I know I'm feeling a little better than I was after last weekend. I don't know if I would go as far as quietly confident, but like I don't think we'll get beat.
Okay, that's encouraging. What about you, John?
Mm-hmm. That's incredibly optimistic for Colin. Compared to some of his previous predictions,
when I have this feeling, John, when I have this feeling, I'm usually right.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Well, I am neither up nor down about the game. I think I normally approach most games on a sort of even keel, so I'm not feeling overly optimistic and I'm not feeling overly pessimistic. However, my eye has my attention's been caught by some of the people talking about the odds for Hearts this weekend. I've thought, I need a new pair of shoes.
Are they favourable, are they?
I've seen 2-1 for Hearts. I've seen 3.1 to 1. I think maybe on Bet365 is what I've been alerted to. But I've been caught out by this before.
Game,
I remember putting money on France to beat England years and years ago, and I think I put 50 quid on France to win because there was a good price and just thought they would beat England easily, and it ended up being 1-1. It's fucking raging. So I've never put a bet on like that since.
It's a Mugs game. Right, let's get stuck into the team lineups. Colin, you're up first. Talk us through your lineup.
Tell you what, the alignment on that's no bad, eh?
It's a bit better this week. I had some hassle with mine, by the way, trying to get it sorted, and then in the end I gave up. So we'll have a look when we get to mine.
I'll beat us too far forward. That's not where I left them. Cadden's covering up Horace first initial, but I'm sticking with Bursick in goals, right? I think, it wasn't great on Saturday, like to say the least. But I don't think he's been like everybody's like went straight into his fucking murder mode, whereas actually he made a couple of mistakes. Most goalies do make mistakes, but everybody in our team's made a mistake so far this season, I think, and it's. Do you just bin somebody's like as soon as they made a mistake? That's them done. One mistake, two mistakes, whatever. You're done. You're finished. Because I think if you drop Bursick here now, that's the end. That's something. He's not coming back for that. I'm not convinced he's fucking totally murdered bullshit. I'm not. I'll hold fire on that one. I'm not saying I'll never say that, but at the moment. So Bursic in there. I went with 3 at the back, which is what I'd picked last week before the game. So it's no revisionism based on David Gray stumbling across it during the game last week. So I've got O'Hara on the right of the 3, Petit in the middle, Iredale on the left. I was considering it. You only sent you this not long ago because I've been pondering a couple of positions. One of them was putting Obita in the back 3 on the left and having Nicky Cadden on the left wing back, right? But I thought that was maybe a bit too attacking, maybe for what I'm thinking. So I went with Obita and Cadden on the right. I don't know if Cadden's available. If Cadden's not available, obviously it would have to be Miller. With Quan and Triantis in the middle, they picked themselves, I think. And Hoyle, we can't really leave out, but he's not a wing back, so I'm sticking him in behind the strikers. I thought about putting him up front as in a 2, but in the end I went for Gale and Kaharovic. And again, I did consider Boyle ahead of Kaharovic, and then I thought, nah, physicality, get the big gadgets in there to knock fuck at them, was my thinking, and that's why I've went with a big solid team. I actually consider playing Campbell or Mariah Welsh and where Hoylett is and playing Hoylett up front, because I don't think you can leave Hoylett out. He's been our best player probably consistently.
I quite like that team. I agree. Like, there's just a question mark about Cadden and his fitness, and I think Miller would be the natural replacement.
It's a straight swap. Aye.
Aye. The shout for a beta
And I don't know
at
much
left
about
centre half
Iredale.
is interesting. If you're gone with that, I think it's quite a good shout. But I quite like that lineup. But what do you reckon? Would you make it, John?
I think it looks very, very similar to mine's, but I have to stress that Colin and I didn't share notes on this beforehand.
Didn't confirm.
No.
Aye, so I agree with it, and I'll agree with it as you'll see shortly when you stick my team up.
I did think about, as I say, Hoylett up front or Boyle up front, which would have meant leaving Karavich out and then putting their physicality in that position in the middle. But then I thought Hearts have been playing 4-4-2 by all accounts in the last couple of games since the boy came in. So I'm thinking, well, an extra body in there. We've got the physicality with Kaharovic replaces that physicality of a Campbell or a Murray Welsh, but in a different position accepted. But then we've still got an extra body in there, and we've still got a bit of creativity because that's what Hoylett's there to bring. So.
Okay, right, John. Let's have a look at yours. So talk us through it.
I think the only big change between the two is, well, I've got Gale and Kaharovic on opposite sides, but also Boyle. And the only reason really that I put Boyle there is because of the question marks over Cadden's fitness. I don't know whether it's been confirmed yet that he's going to be in the squad. And I appreciate that Boyle isn't a natural right wing back. However, I think we do also need his creativity going forward. And I feel that it almost looks a wee bit unbalanced with having Boyle over on the right and Abita, because I think they're two different types of players. So I think I might have gone with Cadden in Boyle's position if I'd been assured that Cadden was fit, but he's not. So I think Boyle will fit in there. I think the reason I'm including Abita in that position, because I think I originally had Yuan when I was mucking about with this earlier, and I thought, nah, Yuan's not really played much recently. He's not really performed much recently. But as we saw from the game last week, Abita swung in a lovely cross for Dwight, not Marcus Gale. He got his head in it and scored a really good goal. So that's what I'm looking for from the wide players. But I'm also thinking that if Boyle decides to drift forward a wee bit, hopefully we've got Kwon to drop in if Boyle finds himself isolated in the back three, needs a wee bit more support. But I'm also I'm not looking at it as being like three big guys across the back. I'm hoping that we're going to get O'Hara and Iredale stepping forward and starting attacks. I must admit though, like in terms of like balance and the players that we've got in there, like I know that there's been a few questions about Bursik, especially after he's gone through the back at Iredale twice recently. So I'm not ignorant of that, but I'm hopeful that with a wee bit more training, a wee bit more time in the training pitch, those two will have sorted out their communication issues going into this game.
It is I think it's a very attacking team because you've got those four like Boyle, Hoylett, Gale, and Miko. I'm concerned about that right hand side with it. I think you're asking a lot. Maybe if you swap Kwon and Chantis, and you're almost asking Chantis to drop into the right back role or the right wing back role to let Boyle go forward. I don't know. I think we give up quite a lot of the right hand side with that lineup.
It's balance. It's always about striking the right balance. And I must admit, like I've not taken into account, like Colin, sounds like you've done more research into what Hearts have been doing than I have. This is the team that I thought that we should go out with. And I think there's always a balance to be struck about how much you give away going forward compared to how much you leave at the back. And I don't think it's a perfect science. And I don't know whether like if Hibs were performing a wee bit better, would we look at that and go, fucking brilliant, like let's go at them. If we'd had a reversal of our win to loss ratio already this season.
The other thing that strikes me about the team, and probably this is relevant for all of the teams, is there's not a lot of experience in the derby in there. So Abita, Boyle, Chantis would have had a derby, wouldn't he? But I think he would have played in them.
Not sure.
Season, did he?
Did we have one after Christmas? We have one.
maybe one. Yeah.
But I can't remember if he played in that one or no. But there's not.
Is that a
there's
good thing
not
or a
lot.
bad thing?
I would think. I guess maybe a bad thing. Maybe less so Easter Road, where they kind of are familiar with the stadium. Kind of everybody goes on about tiny, and I think that would be maybe like a bit more of a difficult place to have your first one. But I always say, like, we've got the manager who knows what the derby is all about. Both like obviously Eddie May and Leo Craig know what it's about. So for that side, you're sort of, this is where you would maybe feel the loss of Joe Newell, because Newell would have brought that experience as well, like being able to kind of go out and knows what the
Do you think that's
all about.
do you think it matters?
I think it does.
But who would?
I think players
See if you were new to it.
I think you get caught out with the pace at
Would you
Colin.
not like?
And my worry is
you know.
we are notoriously slow starting games anyway. So we've talked about it on our review shows on the Sundays about we've expected the team to come flying out the traps because it's a big game, and we just haven't. And this is a game where you know for definite you have to come flying out the traps, because the first 20 minutes of derby is always just like fucking booting everybody up and doing, isn't it?
But when you say that, like, what would be the alternatives to the players that are there? Like sticking Bashiri in, for example, who's got experience in Edinburgh Derby, or I don't know,
Josh Campbell.
Like Josh Campbell.
That's maybe you would have that thought about it.
But they
Josh
presumably,
Campbell's like a contentious one anyway, isn't it? Like if you were picking him.
Aye, but then I get like that. That's the thing. That's the sort of poison chalice of being a manager, isn't it? Like, do you go for the guys who you think are going to win you the game? Do you go for the guys who have got experience? Are they the same players? But also, like, looking at the other side of the city, if you like, are they not going to also have players who don't have experience of an Edinburgh Derby? Will they be playing? Like, you just, I'm assuming you don't know. No, not you, like the collective you.
Yeah. And it wasn't a criticism of the team. It was just more an observation, because mine is the same. We'll come on in a wee second. It was just as I was looking at it, I was like, I would rather have had more, or at least I suppose you've got Boyle and Obita, who definitely have experience that can kind of set the tone and say, but I don't think they're the most influential positions. You know, your white guys are they're literally on the periphery, but you know what I mean. Like you really need somebody in the middle of the park to set the pace.
It's also the challenge of having as many changes as we've had.
Well, that's it. Yeah, like with 11 new players, we're not going to be able to feel the team that's all been in the derby before. I don't even know if it's that important. You know, it was just something that came to mind as I was.
Might not be that important with the record that we've got.
Well, that's maybe a positive then, isn't it? No thought to Mariah Welsh or Campbell there joining your team, or Levitt.
Aye and no. I mean, obviously this is just the starting 11. Some of those guys will be on the bench. So I was thinking, as much as you were saying that it was quite an attacking lineup, there's maybe the opportunity in an ideal world you go 1-2 ahead, and then you start looking at the game a bit later on, a bit more conservatively, and start replacing tired legs with the likes of, say, Josh Campbell, Mariah Welsh, etc.
That has historically worked well for us when we've done that. And I suppose the other one there was the player that we just mentioned, was Rocky. You brought Iredale straight into the team. Is that because David Gray favoured him on Saturday, or do you just see him as a better option?
Probably. It's probably, I don't know what do you call it. Is it like presenteeism? Like because like you say, he finished off the game, and I think apart from the two big mistakes, like I think there was a general acknowledgement that Hibs started to look reasonably comfortable with three at the back. But also, I know the conversation that we had a couple of weeks ago about Ekpiteta and Ahora. I see Colin actually got them arguably the right way round this time. I went for the same. The option would have been to have dropped Iredale, Ahora, I think, on the left, and Bashiri at the right. But I don't think going into the derby with Bashiri's previous record in the derby that it would have set the right tone or got the right response for the stands.
Fair enough. Any thoughts on it, Colin?
No, I agree with the thought, but with the Iredale thing, it's a left-sided. We signed. We needed a left-sided centre half. Why would we play three at the back and not play the one that's left-sided?
It is right. Here's my team. Again, not massively different. I suppose the ones that stand, so the back three went the same, although I've got Ekpatet on the right and O'Hara as the central one. I've got Miller, because I just kind of guessed that Cadden wouldn't be available based on the way that David Gray was talking about him. So I think we would be more likely to see Nicky Cadden feature in the game than Chris. So I've gone for Miller. I went with Boyle and Gale up top, so I thought maybe Miko, maybe bring him on after Boyle's given them a run around for a wee while. But I think you'd be as comfortable swapping that and having Miko on and Boyle come on later on. And then I've chucked Mariah Welsh in behind the strikers, and I sort
In
of
the
thought,
10.
Well, aye.
Can he get in his own position? So we'll stick him in the 10.
Well, I thought, like, he gives us the option, because I think Mariah Welsh is comfortable taking the ball forward, although we haven't seen loads of that from him, but I think he's quite good on the ball. But I think he gives us a wee bit more solidity. Like if we're a bit backs to the wall, or if it turns into a bit of a fight in the middle, having the option to say, right, you drop a bit deeper and go and support Chianis and Quan, then he's a good option for it. I think he's a better player than Josh Campbell. But again, there's no a great deal to base that on. That's more just sort of like a gut feeling based on what I've seen from them both. But I wouldn't mind seeing Mariah Welsh start to break into the team a wee bit. I think he's like a good wee player, full of energy. That's the one thing I always notice about him when he plays. He's like the wee buzz bomb getting about the pitch, and I think this is the sort of game where you need that. Gale, I thought, looked sharp against Dundee United when he came on, so I wouldn't mind seeing him start. What do you think? Where have I gone wrong with it?
No Hoylett.
Mm-hmm.
I like the two up top. In my head, the way that I see that playing out is that you've got two players with pace, like you say, running them ragged. But I think my big concern is Miller and Mariah Welsh. So you were saying before about not a lot of experience in the derby, but I think what those two have got experience with, and something we suffered from in the last couple of weeks, is indiscipline. I think one of the things that's going to be really important is for players to keep their head on Sunday. And I think also to be calm under pressure. And I don't think we see Lewis Miller calm under pressure facing his own box.
No, but Miller's come through derbies before and been all right, and he gets targeted. Like, and he's maybe picked up a booking, but he's as well as I can remember, I don't think he's been sent off in a derby.
That's true.
I think he can be trusted, and I can't remember if Mariah Welsh had played in one as well. But if he had, then you've got Miller, Abita, Triantis, Mariah Welsh, and Boyle in that team that have all tasted the derby before. Whether that makes a difference or not, I don't know. Bursic, again, I agree with what you said, Colin. Like, if you drop the keeper now, and it's a long way back for him, isn't it? So, I was talking on the Observer earlier on with Liam Bryce, and we were talking about the goalkeeper. And one of the things I think is important is that relationship with the goalkeeper and the centre halves, and giving them time on the pitch together to build it. Going into derby, putting a new keeper in behind the centre halves isn't the time to do it.
Yeah,
I think it's just an extra layer of risk that you really didn't need.
Just hope everybody gets behind them, or I say get behind them, or just no moan about them during the game. Like just let them get on with it without having a nag that everybody's sighing when he goes near the ball, sort of thing.
Aye, or the panic. Okay, right. Let's have a look at the form guide. Bring us back on here now, and then I'll get the form guide up on the screen. Do you like that wee PowerPoint, by the way?
Really good.
Aye, yeah.
I was a fan of the maroon flashed in the left-hand side.
Nah, I kind of toyed with the idea of no doing it, and I tried to find one that was more close to like bloodied turd colour, than maroon. So it's like kind of that's more reflective of somebody that's experiencing some issues, and that's they've produced the colour of the Hearts top, which does show on that colour of jersey. Right, the form. I think if I want to look at the form guide actually, because
there's a bit shite I not like. So let's maybe put it in a bit of perspective here.
Well,
for everybody that's flapping like fuck at the moment.
This is a good shout. So we're actually above them in the form guide. So the last 6 matches in the league, but not massively so. There's Hearts second bottom. They've got 4 losses, a draw, and a victory, and we're on 3 losses, 2 draws, and 1 victory. Are you worried about Hearts' form at all? If you take into account their winning midweek there.
Well, they're definitely on a wee bounce, aren't they? But that's probably down to because they've got rid of a manager a lot of the players apparently didn't like. So they've got that wee bit of energy. But that doesn't last forever, does it? We've seen that ourselves. We've changed enough managers to know. Like, these bounces didn't go on forever. I'm not sure of the standard of the team that played midweek or last night.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, to be honest, I've never heard of them before, so no idea what level they're at. But obviously they're on a bit of decent form. But you know what? Sorry, that's the dog. They've just went 4-4-2 by all accounts. It's like we got shown last year that it doesn't work at this league. So let's just go and show them it doesn't work, and how we've learned our lesson for that.
Mind our first couple of games under Sean Maloney, we were brilliant as well.
That's right.
Just for context, John, what have you made of their recent form?
I've not been paying too much attention. I'm really interested in
this. Screen.
I know. I'm not even looking at it right now because I'm too distracted by the fact that Hibs are short as being 7th when I know that we're bottom.
Aye, this is just the last 6 games away, so the defeats before
the first 2 losses in there.
They've not kicked in.
I'm not even. Do you know? I'm not even. I think the main reason why I'm not looking at their form and I'm not bothered. One, because it's a cliche in the derby that form goes out the window, because I think we've all been in that scenario where Hibs have been doing well and gone confidently into the derby and come away with a defeat, a narrow defeat usually. And we've also seen the opposite, where we've been absolute shit and we've come away with like a Derek Riordan style backs to the wall penalty in the 70-odd minute. And also, I'm reluctant to buy into the whole like the new manager bounce thing, because that'll just add fuel to the fire of we need a change as well. Whereas we've seen throughout so much change that actually it's not improving us, so maybe we need to stick for a wee bit. So, in summary, fuck them and fuck their form.
I'm all on board with that. I wonder if there's an element of everybody. I think sometimes folk make the mistake of associating what the new manager has done with like giving them all the credit for the improvement, right? But the reality is, there's very little difference any manager can make to a team within the space of a few days, right? I mean, just if you think about it practically, what impact can they seriously have other than kind of saying some nice things to them, giving them a wee bit of motivation, or maybe tweaking a wee bit here or there? But you're not going to embed what you're wanting to do. And this is maybe why Maloney got a couple of good results, or Montgomery didn't really kind of get the lift when he first came in, but David Gray did it, when he came in as interim manager, and pretty much every time he's come in, he's managed to get a performance out the team. I think Hearts had looked no bad when they lost to Aberdeen, and they maybe were showing signs of sort of having that wee bit of recovery. But then the new managers come in and they've just got the rub of the green, the one they get in before. And I think when we look at how Hibs have been playing, I think we're that far off of getting the rub of the green either. Where we've kind of dominated matches for big chunks of it and then done something stupid to chuck it. So we maybe just need one to go off somebody's arse, like get out of that wee sort of break. Do you think it's a funny thing that I was thinking about earlier on? We could play shite and win tomorrow, and everybody's going to be delighted, right? Or not tomorrow, on Sunday. Obviously, everybody's going to be delighted, but you forget it's a shit performance. But we could play brilliant and no win, and everybody will lose their mind,
That's exactly what will happen.
Aye. What are your thoughts on if it's a draw? Like, where does that leave us?
I'd take a draw. Like, not because I'm not confident we can beat them, but I think this is. I've seen must-win getting fired about the usual must-win game and all that.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a must-not-lose, because I think when we lose, then like the all the stuff I've seen on message boards and Twitter and that this week then becomes there'll be more people on board with that, and the noise will get louder and it'll be harder to turn it around, because then we're 3 points behind them rather than tied with them at the moment. Because when it comes to it, take the league places out of it, it's not just being bottom of the league, right? It's been below Hearts when they've had such a shit start that's causing a lot of this panic. Because I don't think people really believe we can get relegated yet.
Right.
I think we're bottom of the league. We've not been that bad. We've not taken the big moments. But Hearts are now above us on goal difference. Not points per game, but above us on goal difference. So I think going behind 3 points behind them would add more weight to the argument about changing the manager and ripping it all up and sacking the director of football and selling the club and all the other stuff I've seen. So a draw keeps us in it, and then we need to go and win the next couple of games. But then we're back to that. Fucking next 3 games are crucial. Chat. But you know what I mean? It's like that's what I think we can't. I don't think we can lose. I think it would cause massive uproar.
There is, John, the alternative scenario that we win on Sunday, win on Wednesday night, and we finish the week 6 points ahead of them. Like, how different does everybody feel about life at Hibs if that's the scenario that plays out?
But they're the things. Well, as we've seen in the last week and a half, Hearts went above us in the league, and it just changes everyone's mindset. And so if things can change that quickly, and have that positive outcome that you described. Like that can just be the nature of football. Like, as much as I was saying during the last recording, I don't know if it was extra time or the one before that, about, oh Christ, now it's a really good time to lose my train of thought. What was I saying about things changing? About relegation form. Despite things going in your favour, so going ahead and then having a player sent off and then losing 2 goals in the final sort of 5-10 minutes or whatever, that's the other stuff that tends to affect relegation candidates. You could also have the scenario that Colin described where things just improve just as quickly, and then suddenly they're looking at us and they're having the same, oh, it's fucking Critchley's fucking shite, why did we appoint him, blah blah blah. So I wonder if, I appreciate Colin's comments about must not lose, and I do agree with that, but I think if you do lose the game, then you do have that opportunity still for owners, directors, etc., to continue to back the manager and to continue to show that faith, which could perversely have the desired effect of players thinking, fuck, these guys have really got my back.
It's interesting. I think it's a big week coming up for Hibs. So I hope obviously that's the way that it goes, that we get the 2 wins, open up a bit of a gap on the team below us, and then start looking up the table. The alternative is pretty grim, though. I mean, I suppose we'll cross that bridge if we come to it. There's no point sort of focusing on the negative. Let's hope it's the positive that we get. Right, score predictions.
1-0 Hibs.
Right.
Head or heart is that, John?
Instinct.
Which one is instinct? Gut. Head or heart? Gut. Nice one.
Head says 1-0. Heart says 2-1.
I think it's going to be
Hibs, by the way,
Hibs.
just clarity. Yeah.
I think it's going to be a score draw. That's kind of where I'm going. And if it is, I hope we're the last team to score in it, because that's the danger, isn't it? Like, if we're in front of the game and we lose an equaliser in the last couple of minutes,
that's a great shout.
As good as a loss, isn't it? But if it goes the other way around,
it's a great shout, right? Because the negativity that would come with it being a goal, losing a lead. But then, can you imagine the noise, the negativity, it going 1-0 down as well? It's like, fucking hell. Almost better with a 0-0 if we're drawing.
Aye. If we come from behind, we're laughing. If we lose from or don't win the game from a winning position, I think the knives will be out still. There's loads of comments on YouTube. Really sorry when I got them, we're out of time. This is because I couldn't see them because the presentation up to share on the screen. So thanks everybody for commenting. We do see them, just not got time to read them. All right, I'm going to go for a 1 each to the good guys. 1-1 to Hibs. Right, that's all from us. We will be back on Sunday. Watch out for our tweet on Saturday for talking points. We'll also have a pair of tickets to give away, which we'll announce the winner probably tomorrow morning. And make sure you've got the tickets sorted out for that. In the meantime, thanks for tuning in, and we will see you next time.